Good evening. My name is Jill Cohen, and I am a member of the League of Women Voters of Washtenaw County. Welcome to our online forum featuring candidates for Washtenaw Board of Commissioners, District 2. These candidates will be on the ballot in the primary election on Tuesday, August 2nd. The League of Women Voters works to expand voter rights and educate voters. We are a nonpartisan organization and neither endorse nor oppose candidates or political parties. The League is providing this forum as an opportunity for candidates to express their views related to their candidacy. Statements expressed by the candidates are not endorsed or opposed by the League. Also, the League does not certify any candidate's responses to questions as accurate. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information shared at this forum. We bring you tonight's forum because we believe deeply that respectful sharing of views on community issues is vital to the functioning of the American democracy. Our moderator this evening is John Chamberlain, who will explain the format and get us started.
Thank you, Jill. The format for tonight, first, we should welcome the two candidates, Crystal Light and Stephen Lang Renzini, running for Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners in District 2. And I have just explained to them the procedure for timing, but I thought I'd let you know so you have your eye on that. Each candidate will get an opening statement of a minute. Each candidate will get a closing statement of 90 seconds. And in between, they will answer questions that come from the community, with each getting 2 minutes to respond. We will alternate in alphabetical order by last name. Each candidate will have an opportunity to be first and last in all of these questions. We are now ready for an opening statement. Ms. Light, you can go first.
Good afternoon or good evening. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for the opportunity to participate in the District 2 Commissioners Forum. My name is Crystal Light. I am a native to Washtenaw County. I am been born and raised in Ypsilanti, and I am a wife and mother of two. And I am a career advisor servicing in workforce development, servicing all of Washtenaw County. And I am elated to run for county commissioner so that I can set the duties and so that I can serve this county.
Okay, Mr. Ranzini, your turn.
Good evening, John. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this candidate forum. I appreciate the opportunity to participate. I'm Stephen Lang Ranzini, and I'm asking for your vote to represent District 2 on the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. I'm a lifelong Democrat and a decades-long resident of Washtenaw County. I've been a delegate to the Democratic National Convention, and I currently serve in a leadership role with the statewide caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party. I'm a Yale graduate, and I've worked for 34 years as a community banker, solving financial problems for our customers and helping make our customers' dreams come true. I'm running for the Board of Commissioners because I have extensive experience in finance and community volunteerism, and I want to bring that experience to help make our great community an even better place to live for everyone. That volunteerism includes appointments to and service on 29 local, state, national, and even international boards, committees, and commissions. Lastly, the business that I manage has annual revenues slightly larger than the $130 million a year that Washtenaw County takes in from all of us in tax revenues.
Thank you. And we're now going to move to questions. As a reminder, I will read the question once and it will not be repeated unless requested. And we'll start with Mr. Ranzini for the first question. Please identify the top 3 concerns that citizens in Washtenaw County District 2 have expressed to you. If you are elected, describe the steps you would take to address one of these concerns and how how would you pay for it?
As a county commissioner, I believe that a county commissioner should be a collaborative problem solver who works to address the concerns expressed by county residents. As I go to door-to-door meeting voters, I solicit feedback on how the county is doing and how it could provide better services to the citizens of Washtenaw County. When I get that feedback, I take detailed notes. Among the concerns being expressed frequently are the following. During the pandemic, the need for the county's safety net services increased dramatically, effectively addressing the increases in homelessness, hunger, domestic violence, mental health issues, addiction, and poverty all need to be priorities. The social safety net services need to be delivered with consistent quality. At their front doors, constituents are also expressing to me their concerns about the condition of the county roads, and the county rates 30.8% of all county roads as being in poor or failing condition, and rapidly rising costs due to high inflation. This is actually a social justice issue as well, since according to Federal Reserve research, 30% of our fellow citizens do not have the funds available for an emergency $300 car repair. If they hit a bad pothole and damage their car, they could face the loss of their car, the loss of their job, and if they cannot repair their car, the loss of their home or apartment if they lose their job. Lastly, many neighbors have issues specific to them, whether it is the need for better after-school and literacy programs, a safer path to the local library for their kids, or stopping the spread of toxic chemicals in the aquifer under their homes.
Thank you. Ms. Light.
So the top three concerns that I have interacted with residents and individuals in the county, as I am a career advisor and I work in workforce development and with the health and human services, individuals and citizens' concerns are shelter and homelessness. We are experiencing a high rate of lack of housing. So our housing in Washtenaw County is scarce. It scares me that I have individuals that come to see me daily with the concern of where they're going to live to support their families. That is one of the major concerns. Another is employment. And what goes in with being able to seek employment is our clean slate. So being able to have a record expunged is so they can gain employment and maintain it so that they are able to take care of their families. And another concern in our county is our mental health. We have a mental health facility. However, we need to expand and we need to be able to utilize and have mobile mental health and physical health facilities. We have a mental health facility here in Washtenaw County, right in Ypsilanti, that stays open 24 hours. They are the motherboard. They are in need of more employees. So that's where we run into that employment factor. They need more services. They need to be able to assist more services. But the main concern, as I said, is housing. We need to effectively make sure that we are housing the citizens. And when I become commissioner, I am going to implement a proposal to make sure that some of the ARPA funds that we have can go towards housing.
Thank you. And we'll move to the second question. Ms. Light, this will be your turn to go first. Question is, the county has received substantial funds under the American Rescue Plan Act. Some residents of zip codes 48187 and 48198 are concerned that these federal funds are not being fairly allocated to their neighborhoods and are not being spent consistent with federal government guidelines. What are your views on this?
So I believe that the Board of Commission are allocating the funds as they should be. They are taking into consideration that for the 48197 and 48198, how these funds need to be dispersed. One thing about when funds are given, you can't just go and allocate the funds to everyone who says, well, I need them for this area, or our 48198 needs it so that we can allocate the funds however they want. there has to be procedure and protocol on how the funds are implemented. The Board of Commissions, I believe, are working hard to make sure that the funds are allocated. And once they come with a resolution on how they will be dispersed, I believe it will be within the best interests of the residents and of the county. As the county, when I become county commissioner, I will make sure that I join in with my fellow commissioners to make sure that the funds are allocated as they should be.
Thank you. Mr. Ranzini?
I have a little bit different perspective on this issue, talking to voters on the doors. I hear some concern about how the process has been conducted to date, how the consultation has occurred, whether or not all the voices of the groups in our community are being heard during the process of determining, what the money should be allocated for. And in particular, I think that there are unmet needs in our community that are not being addressed by at least the plans on the table today. So again, the concerns that I hear most frequently at the doors are social safety net services, availability and quality, the condition of the county roads, the threat of crime, the need for quality emergency medical and fire rescue services, and their rapidly rising costs due to high inflation. If you look at the specific, proposals, some of them aren't on that list, right? I also agree that, we have a housing crisis in our county. Rents are rising when annual renewals come due, 25 to some cases 40%. Long-term residents are having to relocate, outside of the county to find less expensive housing. It's a serious problem. I'm proud of the role that I've played in that. Last year, the organization that I managed put over 10,000 people into homes as homeowners for the first time. And, I think we need more of that. We need to figure out how to get more people to become homeowners and full participants in the American dream.
Thank you. The next question, with Mr. Ranzini leading off, is please describe a specific example of how you made a difficult decision because of a core value that is important to you.
That is a fantastic question. There is, in business, oftentimes when people come to you with the temptation of making profit or large sums of money, and yet the business that they represent is not, in my opinion, ethical. And, it frequently comes about that you have to tell them no and turn them away. There's, many organizations that they can still go to. It's not as if they're doing something legal, there aren't other organizations that would help them. But, I'm never going to participate with certain activities, whether it's legal or illegal drugs, gambling, prostitution, pornography, marijuana dispensaries, weapons manufacturers, organizations that blatantly discriminate against people. Those are all organizations who, in my career, I have not only had to turn away, but even existing customers, I have had to ask to go patronize a different business. And there's nothing that I will ever compromise on when it comes to ethics. I want to be able to wake up in the morning every day, look in the mirror in the bathroom, and feel good about who I am and the organization that I lead. And I try to set the tone from the top. And I'm pleased about the way that we've developed our reputation in the community as an organization that really cares about the community and operating in an ethical way in every respect.
Thank you. Ms. Light, same question.
May you please repeat the question for me?
Um, where did I put it? Please describe a specific example of how you made a difficult decision because of a core value that is important to you.
So I work in workforce development, and I work with individuals who receive cash assistance. And I had an individual who was not eligible based upon their employment. They were employed. However, the employment that they had was not enough to take care of their family, and so they needed assistance. However, the process and the eligibility for this individual, it said that they did make enough. So I had to make the decision, as if I let them write down on a piece of paper that they make below that amount so that they could receive the cash assistance to help better take care of their family. I stand firmly, and I'm always, everything is based upon policy. I dive into policy and I make sure that everything I do is ethical, and I follow the rules. I'm a rule follower, and I had to unfortunately let this individual know that as bad as you may need it, we are going to have to find a different avenue to assist you. And the good thing about being able to assist individuals in workforce development, I am connected to an array of resources. So I dug in my hat and I connected and contacted and dug in my hat some more. And I contacted them to someone, and they were able to become employed, and they didn't even have to go and lie. They didn't have to, even receive the services of cash assistance. They were able to obtain employment to be able to take care of their family. And to this day, they are still in that position, and they have been promoted, and they are taking care of their family and doing well.
Thank you. The next question, Ms. Light, you'll lead off. State of Michigan law does not allow local governments to pass gun control or gun safety legislation. What other strategies do you think the county might explore to address the gun violence that's plaguing communities in Washtenaw County?
So our local communities and our local government, since we aren't able to pass laws to stop individuals, what we can do is we can come up with proposals and take them to our congresswomen and take them to our state representatives, such as upping the age for individuals to purchase guns. We can implement proposals and take to our state representatives and our woman to ask if that parts of guns cannot be purchased so that a person can come and make an assault rifle or assault gun. We can implement and we can compose proposals and take them to our state legislators, and we can ask our community to join us so that we can push and that we can make these changes, and that we can get our legislative to change the laws. So myself, when I become a commissioner, along with the community, we can go forth and we can push and we can make sure that we have our legislator to change and make these laws so that our families, so that our children in schools can be safe. I have a 9-year-old. I want him to feel every time he walks in the building to school that he is safe, that he never has to worry about being harmed with a weapon. So as commissioner, I am going to compose and implement policy along with the community to make sure that we are keeping the weapons out of the streets, and that we are not allowing individuals with mental health issues, and just composing and implementing policy to make sure that we can keep our families and keep our communities safe.
Thank you. Mr. Ranzini?
So as Crystal correctly said, the county's role in controlling the epidemic of gun violence that our society is suffering from is unfortunately limited. I have 3 children. They're all school age. They go to school every day. It concerns me. I'd like to think that when they go to school, they're going to come home alive. Unfortunately, it's not the case for every parent in our country, and that's a tragedy. There's just no other words for it. It's just a tragedy. So, there are some things that the county commission could do. For example, it can pass resolutions calling on our elected officials to take certain actions. It can be very specific. I have heard at the doors a suggestion that I thought, might have some merit. It needs some more community debate and discussion. But one idea that I heard was, why not require when people get a license to obtain a firearm, why not require them to have 2 or 3 letters of recommendation from people that know them, and institute a series of stiff fines that if anything is then subsequently done incorrectly with that firearm, whether it's just carrying it where it's not allowed to be carried, or leaving it in a place where it's not allowed to be, or transporting it across state lines, let alone, actually killing someone with it, that the people that provide those letters of reference themselves would get a stiff fine, in addition, of course, to the person who violated the law. And if that were instituted, perhaps people would think twice before giving a letter of recommendation to someone that they don't know well. And if there are people who have mental illness, people won't give them the letters of recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Next question, with Mr. Ranzini starting off. Some areas within the county, such as Ann Arbor, are very successful in attracting capital. Please identify 1 or 2 specific strategies to attract and retain businesses elsewhere in the county.
So when I first came to Ann Arbor over 28 years ago, the question that I asked everyone was, where are the unmet needs? And very quickly, I saw a pattern that the unmet needs that people pointed me to were in Ypsilanti. So I hopped in my car and I went down to Ypsilanti and I started talking to everyone who would talk to me. And I quickly learned that there was historic redlining still going on in Ypsilanti. I actually met in my office with Ypsilanti's one and only billionaire, John Barfield. And he told me a story about how he had obtained the first loan that a Black citizen had obtained in Ypsilanti in 1963 to buy a home in Ypsilanti. And I was horrified. And so I went to work and I created a program with the Ministers Alliance and Washington Home Buyers to create a national model homeownership counseling program that won that award from HUD as the National Model Homeownership Counseling Program. And we put over $10 million into loans to people who had credit scores as low as 460 with only 3% down, who had graduated successfully from the program. And I'm pleased to say that 100 of the 100 loans paid in full. I also worked with the Ministers Alliance to set up a nonprofit, a 401c3 official IRS nonprofit, to be able to be a recipient of grants. And we got grants for after-school child literacy, adult literacy. And these are the kinds of things that need to happen more often on the east side of the county, because that's where the most social safety net needs exist. In addition, when I was vice chairman of the county economic development corporation, at the request of Conan Smith, who's the board chair at the time, I put together a very detailed business plan how to spur additional small business creation and funding in the county.
Okay, thank you. And I neglected to say this is the final question, but so we will then move to closing statements. Ms. Light, you're on.
Will you repeat the last question, please?
Some areas within the county, such as Ann Arbor, are very successful in attracting capital. Please identify 1 or 2 specific strategies to attract and retain businesses elsewhere in the county.
So I believe that allowing for our small businesses to grow, making sure that there are available funds. As I live in Ypsilanti, Superior Township, Ypsilanti, small businesses are beginning to open up. I believe if we have available funds and resources for our small businesses to grow, that can gain in up to our capital. Um, we have also been introduced to the recreational marijuana, which is bringing revenue to our county as a whole. So I believe if we continue to embrace new methods of bringing capital to our county, that the sub-cities and townships may also gain that if we have these small businesses and if we begin to be more open on how we can receive more revenue and how we can maintain that. So just being more open, having more available funding for small businesses, and allowing individuals to seek training to do so would also. And my strategy to do that is to bring to the Board of Commissions a policy to make sure that we are able to implement that. And so that will be what I push for, is to, one, be open to receive more opportunities and availability for our small business owners, and for us to seek other routes of bringing revenue.
Thank you. And now it's time for the closing statements. We'll begin with Ms. Light.
I am pleased to be in the running for District 2 County Commissioner. I will do the duties of a county commissioner, which is to compose, create policy, to implement it, to oversee and make sure that the policies that are already in line, that they are being pushed, that our citizens are seeing the resolutions that have been brought forth thus far. I plan to carefully and with our citizens in mind to make sure that I carefully budget and plan for District 2, and not only District 2, but for the county as a whole. I am a through and through Democrat, and I stand for our people. I would love to expand the way that I can assist and advocate for individuals in Washtenaw County, and not only just District 2. I am here for it. I stand before all to stand with them and for them. I am your next county commissioner. If you need to have more details about myself, please go to my website, www.electcrystallight.com, and I look forward to being your District 2 County Commissioner.
Thank you. And Mr. Ranzini.
I'd like to again thank the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this candidate forum. I appreciate the opportunity to participate. Again, I'm Stephen Lang Ranzini, and I'm asking for your vote to represent District 2 on the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. I'm a lifelong Democrat and a decades-long resident of Washtenaw County. I've been a delegate to the Democratic National Convention, and I currently serve in a leadership role with the statewide caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party. I have the endorsements of a number of great community leaders who, in my 28 years here in the county, have done some amazing work in the community. Alma Wheeler-Smith was our state senator, our state representative. Her father was the first Black mayor of Ann Arbor and won by 1 vote. Ricky Jefferson would be my peer on the county commission. He represents the district just south of our District 2, representing the city of Ypsilanti. He's a minister, a family man, a great individual. Ken Schwartz is the supervisor for Superior Township. He's been a county commissioner also. He was originally thinking of running in this race, but when he learned that I was running, he told me, Stephen, I'm backing you and I'm pulling out. We've known each other for decades and worked together on a number of issues. And last but not least, Ronnie Peterson, who's the state rep for the eastern half of the county in Lansing. He's truly one of the most effective legislators that our community has had for the time that I've been here, and just recently worked through a $40 million appropriation through the Republican legislature for the eastern half of the county. And I'm really pleased to have the endorsements of all these great community leaders. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you to the candidates. And We'll now go back to the host.
The League thanks the candidates for participating in tonight's forum, and we also thank those who contributed questions. All of our candidate forums are available for streaming on our website, lwvwashtenaw.org. The forums can also be viewed on Ann Arbor's cable television news. Please urge others to watch these forums and please share the links with them. For additional nonpartisan information on candidates, ballot issues, go to vote411.org, the League's voter resource guide covering local, state, and federal candidates and current ballot proposals. As a reminder, all voters are now eligible to cast an absentee ballot, and Michigan law provides for Election Day registration. Whether by absentee ballot or in person, please vote in the August 2nd primary election. Thank you and have a good evening.